It's being called one of the U.S. Navy's biggest betrayals.
We have jet fuel in our water.
I feel betrayed because we were lied to.
I volunteered to be deployed, be shot at. My family never signed up to get poisoned.
I'm on Oahu, and right over that ridge is Red Hill. It's where the U.S. Navy stores a massive amount of jet fuel underground, right above the island's main source of drinking water. For years, people have worried that the jet fuel could leak into the water supply, and now it has.
My son was covered in hives for a week.
It just felt like my whole body was on fire. I thought I was dying.
We've heard from a lot of mothers who are saying, I feel guilty because I had my child drink the water. What do you say to those mothers?
If we could just focus on the home flushing efforts.
Following intense backlash, the Pentagon now says it will drain the 80-year-old tanks, but the damage has already been done. We traveled to Hawaii to investigate the fallout from a crisis far from over. Would you say that the Navy has taken responsibility for poisoning your family?
No. So this is our home. It's been about 2 months since we were able to use the water. We're basically camping in our own home.
Aiden is an indigenous Hawaiian and Army veteran. He lives in this house with 3 other adults and 3 children. They've had to resort to bottled water for everything after 19,000 gallons of fuel leaked from the Red Hill facility in November and contaminated their drinking water.
I fill up that bucket, and then I have this electric kettle right here. I put in as much as possible, but I need 2 of these in order to mix with this cold water and get a nice warm shower.
Did you ever think that this is how you would have to shower or wash your hands?
No, I'm from Colombia, and back in the days we used to do things like getting showered in shower tanks and stuff like that, so I was like, wow, I'm like having these flashbacks.
Over 90,000 people on the island of Oahu get their water from the Navy system, including civilian households like Aiden's. It took weeks for the Navy to admit that homes in his neighborhood were affected by the leak.
We had bathed all 3 of the kids in the house. We all showered. We're all using the water like there's no big thing and potentially being exposed to jet fuel. This is Kaleo's rash on his cheek. Here's when Jaden went to the emergency room. His whole body had swollen up, he had trouble breathing. And then here's a picture of the coffee. You can see the fuel. We didn't realize the tap water affected the coffee pot. We were still drinking jet fuel every day without realizing it.
From my insides out, it just felt like my whole body was on fire. I had chest pains that felt like I was having a heart attack. I thought I was dying. I genuinely thought I was dying.
Is there any doubt in your mind that the water caused that?
Oh, no doubt at all. No doubt in my mind it was the water.
Test results taken from a Navy water shaft around that time showed that petroleum levels were 350 times higher than the safe limit, and it's still unclear what the lasting health effects may be. While the military paid to relocate military families to hotels, everyone else was mostly left to fend for themselves. What symptoms did he have?
He was pretty sluggish, no energy, because normally he's a ball of energy and he was sleeping until 10, 11, and sometimes I would have to go in there, force him out of bed, and he would tell me, no, Dada, no. So that's been frustrating and scary to see him like that when he's not normally like that.
The military built the Red Hill tanks during World War II to fuel ships and jets around Pearl Harbor. Since then, over 180,000 gallons of fuel have leaked. For many, the tanks represent an unwanted military occupation of Hawaii.
For us, the native people of this land, this is nothing new to us.
The U.S. Navy does not protect us here. And so it's time for us to take the streets back, to take our land back, to take our water back, and get the U.S. military out of Hawaii!
Following months of outrage, the Pentagon finally reversed course. It announced it would permanently close the Red Hill facility, a process that will take over a year. But the water could remain tainted for thousands.
So we start off with a cold water flush?
I met with Navy Commander Trevor Bingham. He's overseeing the flush of distribution lines and individual homes, which the Navy will carry out until the water meets state and federal guidelines.
The tests that we've done in this neighborhood have indicated that the level of fuel in the water here is almost nothing.
You think it would be safe for me to drink water coming out of that tap right now?
It's not cleared for safe now. I would definitely wait until the DOH clears the area.
Today, his team is flushing a home in Aiden's neighborhood, which involves running cold water and hot water for 30 minutes and draining the water heater. but many are skeptical that that's enough to remove petroleum from the system's pipes. Does the Navy believe that flushing water, as you described, is enough to get jet fuel out of it?
Yes.
Are you guys replacing infrastructure like pipes that still have the water running through them?
No, we're not.
Could they be tainted as well?
The process that we've been given has indicated this should solve the problem, so there's no need for that at this time.
After our team left Oahu, high levels of contaminants were still found in the water of several homes and buildings that had been through a flush like the one we watched. The Navy's plan? Reflush those buildings.
How many times are you going to flush before you realize that flushing is not the answer? They need to remove everything, all the pipes and everything that were exposed to the petroleum.
What do you want to say to the Navy?
I would love to give them the middle finger and tell them, to shove it where it doesn't shine, but I also have to be careful because I'm a veteran. I'm worried if I say too much that they could mess with my disability benefits.
You're afraid of retaliation?
Yeah.
Are you going to stay here?
No, we're not. We made the decision to leave. It's just, it's not safe here anymore. So we've decided to move to Nevada. It makes me sad. My heart has always been in Hawaii because my family's here, my roots are here.
Of all the things you expect to see the military doing here in Hawaii, providing clean water for their own people was not one that I expected. The military has set up field showers, laundry services, and bottled water handouts to affected communities. But at the beginning of the crisis, it appeared that the Navy withheld information from service members and regulatory agencies. One Navy spouse forwarded us an email that the Joint Base Commander sent to military housing residents after hundreds had complained about the water. In it, he says there was no indication the water was unsafe, and that he and his staff were drinking it with no problems. But in reality, one day prior, the Navy had shut down the poisoned well without notifying the public. How would you characterize the Navy's response to this crisis?
Outrageous. Every step of the way, it seems like they've just made such poor decisions, denying that there is an issue at all when the water was poisoned, gaslighting their own families.
This is a national embarrassment.
Oh, absolutely. It's a stain on the administration, I think, and on the military, obviously.
And, Wayne said, on some state agencies, too. He told me that just a few years ago, the Hawaii Department of Health raised the acceptable levels of diesel allowed in drinking water. How has the military been able to get away with so much, like polluting people's water, for so long?
There's been a lot of deference to the military here in Hawaii. It's a big part of our economy, military spending, and so that translates to political influence.
This has broken a lot of trust that I had in the Navy and in the military. To put fuel above my health, my kids' health, that's not something we signed up for.
Veronica is an Air Force spouse. For the past 2 months, her family has been shuttling back and forth between this hotel room where they shower and sleep and their home on the base.
It's been really hard on the little boys. My 7-year-old, the other night, I was gonna wash his hair. He started screaming, no, 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 I don't want the jet fuel water on me. And it made me so angry that my 7-year-old was scared of the water that was gonna come out of his bathtub faucet.
Since moving into their home in August, she says her family has experienced hair loss, rashes, and nausea. Her 4-year-old was even having headaches.
I thought, oh, they're dehydrated, let's drink more water. By trying to help my family, I was making everybody sicker.
The Navy told families that household items touched by the tainted water can be cleaned with simple dish soap, but Veronica doesn't trust that.
So these are all of our plastics, like from our kitchen. Anything from strainers to our popcorn little containers.
You're gonna throw these all away?
Yes, because if they're porous and they have the jet fuel in them, they will recontaminate when we use them. And I mean, the kids' bath toys.
I'm struck sitting here and we're surrounded by cases of bottled water, and the last time I was in a situation like this was when I was reporting in Flint, Michigan.
We are a first world country and we can't touch our water.
And speaking of jet fuel.
Those are the jets, and so every time I hear those jets now I think, oh, that's my water I'm drinking up there.
Did you know before the water got contaminated, the situation of where it's stored?
No, not at all. They told us our water was clean and I believed it.
Has this crisis made you sort of open your eyes more to the military presence in Hawaii?
Yes, definitely. To take over an island and not take care of it the way the original people took care of it is just wrong.
Do you feel like the Navy was prepared to deal with a crisis of this magnitude?
We never expected a crisis of this magnitude. You know, that's not really what we trained for. Again, I don't know if we ever expected something like this to happen.
Although people were warning that, like, when you store fuel right above an aquifer, it could happen. In hindsight, do you think the tank should be there?
That's not really for me to say. That's a lot higher than my pay grade.
We've gone into some homes and talked to military families, and what they tell us is we will never use the plastic utensils that we cook with because all of them are contaminated. What do you have to say to them?
I would say that is a choice that they have to make. The engineers that we're working with DOH as well have indicated that this should clear the problem, and I believe that's true.
You believe that the spoons and the plasticware and the Keurig coffee machine and the washing machines can be used safely?
I believe so, yeah, when they're washed properly.
But you would feel confident with your children using such things and remaining in these homes?
I would, yes.
I've actually had like a mystery illness for over a year now.
We met up with Heather, a Navy spouse, as her family was moving out of their home. All 3 of her kids got sick from the water, including her son, whose body was covered in hives after taking a bath. She now wonders if her long-term health problems are connected to years of fuel leaks.
It's been a lot of digestive tract issues, and I started experiencing pain that the doctors thought initially was my gallbladder.
Prior to living here, did you ever have any of these symptoms?
No. But now that I look back, it all started in this house.
Heather showed me records of MRIs, CT scans, and ultrasounds over the past year. Military doctors haven't been able to figure out what's causing her pain.
And I did ask the doctor, is it possible that it's exposure to the water and the hydrocarbons? And she said, I mean, it's possible. I can't say it's not possible, but I also can't say that that's what it is.
So do you think that the water has been unsafe for a really long time?
I do think that the water has been unsafe for longer than November. I think it just reached a level that was able to be detected from the smell.
Are you worried about potential long-term side effects or consequences?
I am extremely worried about that. It's such a rare thing to be exposed to jet fuel through ingestion, and that's really scary and frustrating.
There are limited studies that look into how drinking petroleum affects long-term health. The CDC told us it cannot predict whether there will be long-term health effects for the people on the Navy waterline. But the Hawaii Department of Health and Navy are telling affected families that they are not expected to experience long-term health issues. Some military families aren't buying that and have resorted to third-party testing. One Navy mom shared a toxicology report with us showing her 3-year-old daughter's urine has elevated levels of an additive found in gasoline. The Navy didn't respond to our email with questions about long-term health impacts, and neither did Commander Bingham. We've heard from a lot of mothers who are saying, I feel guilty because I had my child drink the water. What do you say to those mothers?
If we could just focus on the home flushing effort.
Since we returned from Hawaii, the Navy finished the flushing process and says the water is now safe to drink. But for the residents of Oahu that we met, and many more, the trust is already broken beyond repair. If the Navy were to give you a guarantee that the water's safe to drink, would you drink it again?
No, not unless they were here and they spent at minimum a month in our home. They drank it, they showered with it.
If in a matter of weeks or days or months, the Navy tells you this water's safe to consume, will you trust it?
No, I will not touch this water. I will not have my children drinking it.
You messed with our kids, you messed with us, and that's the most important thing to us.
Hey guys, it's Dena here at the headquarters of the Pacific Fleet. Thank you for watching this video. Did you have any idea what was going on here with the water crisis? Let me know in the comments, and also stay tuned for the rest of the videos in this series where I dig deeper into the military's footprint here in Hawaii. Also watch my past reporting from here that we'll link in the comments.